Do you like playing Fortnite? Do you dream of being a filmmaker? Want to see you work on the big screen one day? Keep watching. I'm going to give you 7 tips every filmmaker needs to account for in every project he or she ever makes. And lucky for you, Fortnite's Blockbuster Contest teaches you these steps. Yep, that's right. As someone who has worked on hundreds of productions, I can tell you firsthand there's a foundation that needs to be laid down for your motion picture and television projects to be successful. And even as technology and distribution outlets evolve and trends may change, these same foundations needed are always the same. As for young, aspiring content creators and filmmakers joining the ranks of the new Hollywood generation, this directly applies to you. All of that coming up. Welcome to Hollywood Unapologetic. My name is Rolando Delbert. Wanted to speak a little bit about filmmaking essentials, 7 tips on how creating a Fortnite gameplay fan film can teach you fundamental filmmaking skills and how it applies to the new Hollywood generation. I should mention before we get into it, I first wrote about some of what we're about to touch upon, success in filmmaking in life and how it applies as part of the new Hollywood generation when I was writing Pollyanna's Tear-Soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, Survival Guide Against the Cynicism and the Hypocritical. We want to know your questions, comments, and suggestions you may have. Please write them below, leave a thumbs up if you like what you see. Make sure you click on the subscribe button. Click that bell so you don't miss anything. Be sure to check out the videos in the playlist. New to film production? Start here. Be sure to watch all of the way through. We're going to speak about a lot of things as part of being prepared. Remember, preparation is the key to you and your project's success. You ready? Today's episode will give you 7 filmmaking tips you can learn by playing Fortnite. 7 tips? How does a video game teach me anything about filmmaking? Well, it's a bit more involved than just playing the video game. Check it. Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, asked game players to create their own fan film. The submissions had to be at least 1 minute in length and no longer than 5 minutes. The rest of their criteria was pretty straightforward. Judging would be based on your creativity, your mastery of the replay tools, and the level of Fortnite-ness. The quality of capturing the tone of Fortnite itself. Of course, you could only use your own original gameplay, and you're only allowed to use your own and royalty-free audio. You're also not allowed to add on any screen text or graphics nor any type of voiceover either. Once your finished short film is uploaded to YouTube, made public for all the world to see and searchable, you can add the hashtag FortniteBlockbuster before letting Epic Games know of your creation. Oh, and also your Epic ID. I'm sure some of you may be thinking, this isn't filmmaking at all. Well, actually it is. If you think about the process of what is being asked, a lot of the foundations are the same, and there is a lot in the power of the replay tools that are offered. Right off the bat, you're asked to create a story based on your gameplay. One may think it's just my experience of my playing this game right now. While that may be true, you would need a little more than just a view from the first-person perspective. It needs to grab some attention, and it has to have some type of rhythm and arc to tell a story those watching would find of interest and be engaged. It would also has to have an original representation of the Season 4 heroes highlight their adventures. These are the same details needed to be worked out during the film development stage that leads us to your timeline. Sure, I'm playing this game and everything is great, but you're considering the story structure as I've just mentioned, you're also working against the clock to make sure you have your fan film completed and uploaded before the deadline, which is only 9 days away. Now you have to consider all of the technical and post-production aspects needed to complete your fan film, because this part of the process is no different than if you were putting together your own short film and want to write, produce, shoot, and edit yourself. It all will need to come together, and part of that process is to understand and adhere to a schedule. Every single thing needed to be done takes time. This is also a crucial part of the film development stage. One of the things to consider in your timeline is how would you capture your gameplay? This is part of your digital workflow. Fortnite has a replay system built right in, allowing you to save your matches and watch them from different angles whenever you want. In a nutshell, all of the network traffic is recorded on their server, which allows you to see exactly what you saw during your original game. Plus, you would need to have a PC, a PS4, or Xbox One to be able to access it. Determining whether the equipment you have is compatible with one another, the equipment or software you would need to directly save the gameplay onto your computer, to your editing, and your final render of the finished project, and its upload needs, must be accounted for before you even begin. This is also a crucial part of the film development stage. When you're planning your principal photography on your film, how your actors are blocked, lighting, location, and more need to be considered so you know how your camera will be used, where they will be placed, and the type of lenses needed for each of your shots. Working in this digital environment, you're able to select different camera modes, including the gameplay camera to see everything as the main character sees it, to different drone cameras, allowing you to see what's going on from above and from various distances. You're also able to adjust your exposure and aperture settings, as well as your focal length. Although figuring out camera placement and movements are determined during the film development stage, it's during the film pre-production stage these details would be worked out with your director of photography way before shooting a single frame. Does my speaking about Fortnite's player-made superhero film challenge and how they are an introduction to filmmaking make any sense? If it does, write hashtag New Hollywood Generation in the comments below. That's hashtag New Hollywood Generation. What this competition illustrates very well, the guys at Epic Games know very well their own branding. They built up a whole virtual world built around the characters, and as they give you the end user a criteria to stick to, everything is about the extension of the brand. By offering prizes to game players, the setting for their brand to be expanded even further grows at a lower cost than it would by having any other type of traditional advertising. Incentives like the winning video being featured in the game at Risky Reels, a drive-in theater in the Battle Royale game, a one-sheet poster of the winner's film, as well as the film's name and lights on the marquee, not to mention 25,000 in V-Bucks, are enough to drive fans to dive deeper into the game itself, which is exactly what Epic Games wants. These are all examples of how they solidify their brand by encouraging further engagement of the game players and the viewers of the winning film. And in relation to you as a filmmaker, branding is a huge part of the process that is too often overlooked early on. The moment you decide you're going to create any type of content, you just became your own brand. Every single thing you do from that point forward will now be under the scrutiny of others. The medium doesn't matter because regardless of its form, your name is attached to it and people will identify you with what you create. You become your own brand ambassador. Many inexperienced filmmakers begin thinking about branding during the post-production, and more so during the distribution stages of filmmaking, but really should be thought about and worked on during the film development stage. Including branding in your timeline helps you figure out what you need, the time needed to execute and everything, and what it would cost. What is important to note here, licensing is big business. By setting up criteria at the beginning for the game players to only use royalty-free audio, saves the company tons of money if they had to go out and acquire the music licensing rights, as well as saves them from any potential lawsuits by the music owners. This alone is a huge lesson for aspiring content creators and filmmakers to learn early in their careers. One of the biggest issues seen in many first offerings by filmmakers is the unauthorized use of unlicensed material and just bad in audio altogether. By using royalty-free music anyone can use, especially from the audio library on YouTube, eliminates additional and unnecessary expenditures for Epic Games and gives you a real-world example of where to find music you may use. Finding music and audio effects is usually all worked out during the film post-production stage, but should be considered much earlier during the film development stage. And this brings us to, for filmmakers, distribution is the key to opening lots of doors. And as I've just mentioned, YouTube allows content creators the use of music and sound effects in the videos content creators create, including videos that are monetized. What that means, you create a film, use their audio clips, and your videos uploaded to YouTube, and it's allowed. This is perfect because YouTube is a free distribution platform for content creators to use. It's a great example of how an internet-based video sharing service gives content creators access to the world. And for aspiring filmmakers in the context of Fortnite, Epic Games wants all of the videos made by game players to have a centralized place to be seen. And right now, today, Fortnite is the hottest video game trend on YouTube. It's a win-win for them, and it may be a win-win for you. And when producing your own films from scratch, the film distribution stage is where many first-time filmmakers stumble. By understanding the basics of how the YouTube distribution platform works and how videos may be monetized, as well as learning how to diversify your own brand with your own merchandising and other projects and services you may want to offer, are all building blocks needed to successfully release any film. All of the details and far more fall under the film distribution stage. I know these 7 steps for anyone already in the filmmaking world may seem obvious, and that may be true for some, but for someone who has aspirations of becoming a young, successful filmmaker and don't know where to begin, and if you are already a fan of Fortnite, why not take advantage of the tools the game makers have available? Which, by the way, the trailers Epic Games make is the same system they use themselves. And in saying this, I have a challenge for you. My challenge to you is I want you to think about the 7 items I've mentioned and see as you play the game and go into their replay system how the tools work. Play with the cameras, zoom in and out, and play with the video exposure and focal length, and give some thought of how you maybe utilize these tools to build a story. Consider how you would take your gameplay and build upon it. How and where you add your music to set the tones of the action. What audio effects would you add to give a layer of realism to what is seen on the screen? As your pieces come together, make a timeline of where you are today and add markers to the time you think you would need to edit and add the audio pieces I've just mentioned. Also consider your audio sources to make sure you're able to use them legally, as well as be mindful of staying within the brand. You'd also need to determine your digital workflow so that you can capture your gameplay, edit the video and audio components, and be able to upload your video to your distribution outlet, YouTube. By doing all of these things, you have just completed the basic steps every content creator needs to figure out to complete a film and distribute it to the world. I want you to give that some thought. Yes, creating your own film from scratch is much more involved. It takes a lot of time invested in it. There's no question of that. But for a young and aspiring filmmaker who just happens to enjoy playing Fortnite, why not take advantage of this opportunity to learn some of the fundamentals needed to make a film, which everyone who is a successful working filmmaker has to do with every single one of his or her projects. Every member of the new Hollywood generation, yes, this means you too, has to ask the same questions of themselves and do the same work from the very beginning. If this exercise gets you one step closer to getting to your goals, it will also get you one day closer to achieving your dreams. One more thing, as part of the new Hollywood generation, others just like you are asking the same questions of themselves. You are not alone. We're all in it together. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe and click on the bell to know when we have more for you. And more episodes are coming. Please share with someone you know who may find what we spoke about today beneficial. Like if you like what you see, dislike if you don't. And let us hear from you. Are you going to use what we discussed today? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. Please consider what I offered you today and consider what your role is as a new generation of content creators, and feel free to take advantage of other members in the new Hollywood generation community. We're all here to grow together and to help one another. We have a strong group on Twitter. Come join the new Hollywood generation and meet some fellow filmmakers and content creators. As members of the new Hollywood generation, take the time to assess what your short-term and long-term goals are. Create a timeline of where you are today, where you would like to see yourself in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10, professionally, financially, and personally. Do your research and learn what you can about technology, distribution outlets, contracts, and of course set etiquette and protocols. All of these things are important and help to make you of values to others in our industry and to yourself. The lessons learned as a content creator can help build leadership qualities and an entrepreneurial approach to life. The process will help you build structure and the discipline needed to truly be a success. Use this information as a tool so that you can protect your integrity and yourself better. And don't forget, have fun with it. Making a film takes a lot of effort to see all of the way through, but definitely can't be worth it. Your experiences stay with you for the rest of your life. Make your plan, take a breath, and go for it. You can do it once you believe you can. You ready for the challenge? If you're looking for filmmaking for beginners, Filmmaking 101, and for some filmmaking tips on how to want to be a filmmaker, make sure to click on the subscribe button. Click that bell so you don't miss anything. Looking for how to filmmaking essentials? Be sure to check out the videos in the playlist. New to film production? Start here. Think of this channel as a film crash course or filmmaking crash course and an introduction to filmmaking entrepreneurship to build the skills needed well beyond just how to succeed Hollywood and beyond whatever discussion other how-to film school, how-to indie filmmaking, in general, how to film industry channels don't talk about. The whys you truly need to know to help you grow as a thought leader in life, the entertainment industry, and how it applies as part of the new Hollywood generation is in this video series and in the Pollyanna's Tear-Soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical series of books. Links below. Remember, preparation is the key to you and your project's success. Ready?